Hi, this is Mike Regan with TranzAct's 2-minute warning for the week of October 1st. Can you believe we're already headed into the fourth quarter of 2012? Where has the time gone? Last week, I received an interesting call from a longtime customer and a dear friend. Bill is the Vice President of Transportation for a strong company here in Chicago, and he said, Mike, we're trying to finalize our transportation budgets for 2013, and we want to know, what do you think is going to happen? Now, I explained to Bill that we've been working on this budgeting white paper that we're going to be releasing in the next couple of weeks. But here's the challenge that we have. More so than ever before, your transportation costs and budgets are going to be determined by external events, specifically what happens with the economy in 2013. Now, why do we mention this? Well, we saw a couple of articles last week, and one article talked about a survey of CFOs, and they concluded that the CFOs that they were surveying said that their companies, by and large, are predicting slower economic growth. We saw another article that talked about a survey that was conducted by the Business Roundtable, and they went out and surveyed their CEOs, and guess what? They said that they were also looking at slower economic growth. Now, what does this have to do with your transportation budgets? Well, in talking with the carriers, if that slower economic growth scenario is actually realized, we think the rate increases are going to be much less than what we were talking about only months ago. Well, specifically, we're looking at rate increases of about 2 to 4% in an environment where there's slow economic growth. Now, if we experience stronger economic growth, if, for example, GDP is above the 2.5% that we've talked about in previous 2-minute warnings, then you may actually see rate increases of 5 to 7%. So what we're trying to say in very direct terms is that your transportation budget is going to be determined by the kind of economy your company is projecting. Slower growth, 2 to 4%, higher growth, 5 to 7%. Now, one of the other things we want to talk about is that in talking with the carriers, we've gotten some very strong feedback. And one of the things they're highlighting is that lower transportation costs are not just determined by rates. In fact, your transportation practices and processes have a huge impact on what your transportation costs look like. Now, in our carrier-friendly white paper, we highlighted how these practices and processes can be addressed so that you can lower your costs. But guess what? We have a wealth of information that we'd love to share with you about how your practices and processes can be analyzed and changed so that you can lower your costs. And if you'd like that information, simply give us a call today here at TranzAct. With each and every 2-minute warning, we want to remind you we are on your team and we're here to help. So if you want to lower your transportation costs, give us a call today. Thanks for your time.